I'm Callie, and today I wanted to talk about which major arcana card best describes where I'm at in my life today. And I saw a video by Katey Flowers, and I think Callie from the Truth in Story did it as well, and a lady whose channel is called When My Soul Whispered. Those are the ones I saw at least. They did this video where they looked at which card best describes them today, or where they're at in their lives right now, and which card, major arcana card, sort of precedes that card, and which one comes after, so chronologically. But like Callie from the Truth in Story said, you don't necessarily experience the different energies of the arcana cards, major arcana cards, in chronological order, but for the sake of this exercise, it's fun to see what comes up and what kind of reflections come from it. So I thought it was a good idea, and today's my daily draw today, I got the Blasted Beech Tree, which is the Tower in Tarot. And also my card of the week is this one here, so Storm Warning. And this was sort of a sign to me to say, okay, let's do this video, because the Tower is part of this of these three cards that I'll be talking about now. So it was sort of a nudge for me to do this today, and I listened. So where I'm at today, best described through the major arcana, I would say, is the Star card. So the Star card to me is about peace, it's about healing, it's about tuning into and finding your North Star, and sort of feeling that pull and going in that direction that feels right to you. It's about feeling guided, which I absolutely do right now. It's about rekindling or realigning with that spark, divine spark within you, and sort of, leaning into that again. And it's sort of the calm after the storm. It's the peace after the fury, and that's, I think that's very fitting for what I'm feeling right now. So a lot of things are happening in my life. I'm starting my own company with my sister called the Soulcraft Sisters, but it's taken on a very sort of organic form, and it cannot be rushed. It's sort of, we both feel sort of gently guided as it evolves, which is really nice. And then there's this whole feeling of being guided and feeling sort of held. And I feel like I have a guardian angel, I feel like I have guides. It's hard for me to describe exactly who or what these energies are, but I most definitely feel supported, and also of course by myself and my higher self. So it's a peaceful place to be right now. And it's especially peaceful when you think of what came before, which is the Tower, chronologically speaking, but also this relates excuse me, very much to my own life, because the last 2 years have been quite an interesting ride. Learned a lot of new things, and it feels like I need some water. In some ways this is not super easy for me to talk about, but I'm gonna go ahead. So the Tower is about sudden change. Typically it can be in the physical world, but it can also be some ideas or some things you thought to be true, it turns out not to be to you. In my case, a lot of things happen around the death of my father 2 years ago, and that sort of really started a whole lot of things for me. I started questioning, what is life? What am I doing? What do I want to be doing? Do I have a mission in life? Is there something after life? And all these things, which before that I reflected on an intellectual basis, but now it sort of just became even more real, and I started experiencing things that I never had before. I simply opened up, I think, a sort of a portal. My intuition grew stronger, but before that, it was like my whole foundation was sort of just picked up. My whole worldview has been shifted, and that's sort of been quite a process, I would say, but a natural one as well. A natural one that sort of felt like it had to happen in this way. So although dramatic in many ways and emotionally challenging, it was also just part of the play somehow. I can't describe it other than that. But what this also did, all these new thoughts, ideas, becoming spiritual and all these things, well, it meant that the job I held at the time, it felt like a confinement, and it really felt like I was meant to be moving away, but I wasn't quite ready. So I was, all these new needs of mine, you could say the feminine side of me was trying to let me know that something new had to happen, but I wasn't acting on them. I wasn't listening. I was trying to maneuver myself into that box, or my way of looking at things, the way I've always had. So it was a weird time. But in summer last year, I decided to leave my job, because it had come to a point where it was not viable for me anymore. I simply had to do something else. And then, it was weird in a sense that I felt like I was in a void, because I had uprooted a lot of beliefs, and suddenly I stood in a place where it wasn't quite replaced by anything yet. Nothing tangible, nothing I could understand. So there was this void that I had to navigate through. So I went to India and all sorts of things, and did some yoga, and which has been really helpful and continues to be helpful to me. So that's sort of part of my story and what has gone before, and now it really does feel like I'm in a place that's best described by the star. So if we then look at what comes after the star, we have the moon card. So this would then be what's coming up for me. And the moon card for me is all about mysticism. It's about diving deeper into your unconscious. It's about maybe connecting even further to my psychic abilities. It's all these things. It's also continuing the work that I've started about looking at old beliefs and seeing things for what they are, tuning into my intuition and not being fooled by what looks like something but feels different. So it's a process of continued growth for me. Maybe also digging into dream work and that kind of thing. But it's and also being increasingly comfortable with the unknown. Yeah. But the moon to me, ever since my dad died or passed away, the moon has really been speaking to me in a sense that I've never been aware of before. And I remember quite vividly when I was driving down to the hospital to say my final goodbyes to him. I looked out of the window in the car, and the moon was clearly talking to me. I was fixed on, it was a full moon, and it looked full, whatever, but and there was these clouds crossing by, covering the moon, and it happened 3 times. Otherwise you could sort of see partially part of the moon, or but 3 times it was completely covered in clouds, and I held my breath for those moments, and I made a note of the times. And when we came to the hospital, we found out that his heart had stopped 3 times around the same times that I had noted. So I just felt like I was slowly being communicating with the moon or whatever. So and also this year I've decided to dig into how the different phases influence me, and get to know that a little bit better. And also it's the first, oh no, these are sort of, you've got the star, you've got the moon, and then after the moon you have the sun, which are the 3, and then you have the world as well, which are sort of the 3 celestial bodies or cards in the tarot deck, and they sort of speak of the universal influences on us, and who knows, I might dig into astrology as well coming up, but yeah. Is there anything else I wanted to say about this whole thing? No, I think that's it. So I hope it was actually quite nice to talk about, and maybe there are some people out there who can identify, or maybe not, or maybe you feel inspired to make a video similar to this one. I know I would enjoy to see it, because these things always interest me, and how we can relate our lives to the tarot card, right? So yeah, take care and stay tuned. Bye.